This is my husband, the man responsible for who I am today. The words hit me like a bullet to the chest. But it wasn't me she was talking about. No, I was standing 3 feet away, in a wrinkled suit I'd worn for 3 straight shifts, sleepless, hungry, exhausted, but grinning like a fool, thinking I was there to celebrate her. Her name is Samantha, but now I can't say it without feeling bile in my throat. I had just arrived at the courtyard of the university hospital, clutching a bouquet of white lilies, her favorite, sweat sticking my shirt to my back. I'd just pulled a 12-hour shift stocking groceries, slept 2 hours, then did 8 more hours driving Uber. Also, she could walk that stage today. My phone buzzed. A message from her. Come to the west side of the courtyard. I'm with friends. Can't wait to see you, Red Heart. I walked faster. Almost ran. Then I heard her voice. Loud. Joyful. Proud. This is my husband, the man responsible for who I am today. Laughter. Cheers. Applause. And then, I saw him. He was tall, well-dressed, had that arrogant, polished look. Clean-cut. Probably drove something German and fast. Connor. I'd find out later. The same name I saw popping up in her texts 3 months ago when I asked who he was, and she laughed it off. Just a classmate, babe. But that day, she introduced him as her husband. And me, the actual man who paid for her rent, books, tuition, gas, insurance, late-night takeout, coffee addictions, and goddamn therapy, was standing there like a ghost. Like someone who didn't exist. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the flowers. I didn't punch him. I walked up slowly. My legs were shaking, but I was calm. Too calm. She turned and saw me. Her smile dropped. The color drained from her face. But she recovered, quick. Fake laughed. Oh my God. Jake, you're here, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, like I was some family friend she wasn't expecting. Connor turned, confused. Who's he? And then she did it. She laughed, shook her head like I was some joke. He's no one. Just an old friend. That moment will be carved in my memory until I die. I turned to the crowd. Actually, I said, my voice sharper than I expected. I'm the man who worked 3 jobs so she could stand here today. Silence. You could hear birds. Someone coughed awkwardly. I stepped closer. I paid every bill. I skipped meals. I slept on bus benches waiting for my next shift. I wore the same shoes for 3 years. And while I was breaking my back, she was busy doing God knows what with this piece of... Jake, stop, she snapped, eyes wide, voice shrill. But it was too late. On our wedding day, I said, she promised we'd make it through anything. Just help me finish med school, she said. After that, we'll finally live. Well, congratulations, Samantha. You made it. Connor looked like he wanted to disappear. I dropped the bouquet on the pavement. I was going to propose again today. I was going to kneel and thank her for staying strong, for making it through. But looks like I was the only one staying. Gasps. She stepped toward me, eyes full of rage, whispering through her teeth. What the hell are you doing? Exposing a liar, I whispered back. And taking my life back. Then I turned and walked away. Not a word, not a glance back. But every step I took, I felt fire building in my chest. Something between heartbreak and pure fury. Because that moment, that was just the beginning. And she had no idea what I was about to uncover next. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I sat in my car outside our apartment, engine off, keys in my lap, staring at the building like it had betrayed me too. I replayed every moment of the last 4 years in my head. Every lie she fed me. Every study session that ran too long. Every time she said she was too tired, too stressed, too busy. All those times I swallowed my doubts because I loved her. Because I trusted her. I thought I was doing it for us. Turns out, I was just building a throne for her to sit on while she looked for someone better to rule beside her. At 3:12 a.m., I finally went inside. Quietly. I knew she wouldn't be home yet. Probably out celebrating. Or with him. Our bedroom smelled like her perfume, and I hated how familiar it felt. On autopilot, I started packing. Not my stuff, hers. I opened drawers. Makeup, jewelry, fancy skincare she never used around me. I opened the closet. Designer dresses I never saw her wear for me. Lingerie I'd never touched. Then I pulled open the nightstand drawer. That's when I found it. A folded letter. Handwritten. On hospital paper. It started with, "Can't stop thinking about last night. You were amazing." My hands started shaking. It continued. "I don't know how you make me feel so alive. Every moment with you is better than 1,000 dull hours with him. I don't care what happens. I want you. All of you. There was more, but I stopped reading. There it was. Confirmation. In ink. That wasn't just a fling. She was in deep. She hated me enough to mock our life in writing. I wanted to scream. I wanted to punch a wall, break something, tear the letter up. But instead, I put it back in the drawer, exactly where I found it. Then I sat on the bed and waited. She came home at 5:47 a.m., heels clicking on the hallway floor, laughing over the phone with someone. Probably him. When she saw me in the bedroom, her whole body tensed. Jake, what are you doing here? I stood up slowly. Waiting. She rolled her eyes, tossed her purse on the dresser. Look, if this is about today, I was going to explain. Don't. I held up a hand. Don't insult me more than you already have. She folded her arms. Fine. What do you want? I nodded toward the nightstand. You left a little love note. Sweet of you. She blinked. Just for a second. Just enough to confirm it. You went through my stuff? You mean the drawer you keep unlocked? The one beside the bed we haven't shared properly in months. She sighed. Jake, listen. No. You listen. You denied me. Publicly. After everything I've done for you. I panicked, okay? She snapped. Connor was there. My friends were there. I didn't want to make it weird. You told everyone he was your husband. She didn't respond. That wasn't panicked, Samantha. That was choice. Her eyes narrowed. You're being dramatic. You think you're the only one who sacrificed something? You think working those jobs makes you some kind of martyr? No, I said. But it damn sure doesn't make me no one. She scoffed, turned away, started changing clothes like we weren't even having this conversation. Like I didn't just find a letter about her being with another man. I watched her unzip her dress, still smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. She looked at me over her shoulder. Maybe if you spent less time playing hero and more time being a man, I wouldn't have had to look elsewhere. That line broke something inside me. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I walked to the closet, pulled out a duffel bag, and started throwing her clothes into it. Folded, neatly, with care. The way I used to do her laundry before her exams. Before she forgot who I was. What the hell are you doing? She asked. Packing. You've made it pretty clear you don't live here anymore. She laughed. Laughed. You think you can just kick me out? You already left. I'm just helping you finish the job. She stormed toward me, tried to grab the bag, but I stepped back. Get your things. You've got until sunset. After that, I'm changing the locks. Jake, be serious. I was. Every day, every night, every shift. You weren't. Now live with it. She opened her mouth again, but no words came. Good. Let the silence explain what her lies never could. I walked out of the room, and for the first time in years, I felt free. I spent the rest of the morning in the kitchen, sitting at the small table where we used to drink coffee and talk about our dreams, hers mostly. I couldn't stomach the thought of touching anything, so I just sat there, staring at the floor, hearing every creak in the apartment as she moved around like she still owned it. Around noon, I heard her suitcase hit the hallway floor. She was dragging it out, huffing like she was the victim in all this. I didn't move. I didn't speak. Just listened. Before she left, she stood in the doorway and said, "You're throwing away the best thing that ever happened to you." I turned slowly, met her eyes. You already did. And with that, she left. The door clicked shut. I waited for a second. Then I stood up, locked it, and leaned my head against the wood. The silence that followed wasn't peaceful. It was loud. Like everything I hadn't said in the last 4 years came crashing into the room all at once. I wanted to scream into the walls, punch the cabinets, destroy something. But I didn't. I couldn't. Instead, I went into our bedroom, my bedroom now, and stripped the bed completely. Sheets, pillows, everything. I opened the windows, turned on every fan. I had to get her sent out. I had to get her out. But you can't air out betrayal. It clings to everything. Over the next few days, she tried calling, texting, leaving voicemails, pretending to be calm, then switching to rage when I didn't respond. Then back to guilt. Like clockwork. I messed up, Jake. We can fix this. You're being childish. Talk to me like an adult. Are you seriously ghosting me after everything we've been through? I didn't love him, okay? It was just something that happened. You think you're perfect? Fine. You want to be alone? Be alone. But don't come crawling back when you realize I was the best thing in your life. I never replied. Not once. But it wasn't that easy. Some nights I stared at my phone, thumb hovering over her name. I thought about the way she used to fall asleep on my chest, the stupid inside jokes, her favorite songs, the nights we had no money but still danced in the kitchen like we were rich with time and love. It all felt like a scam now. One night, about 2 weeks after she left, I got a knock on the door. It was Connor. He stood there with a smug face, hands in his coat pockets, as if we were about to have a civil chat over beers. "You Jake?" he asked, already knowing. I didn't answer. "Look, I'm not here to start anything," he said. "I just think you deserve to hear the truth." I folded my arms. "You mean your version of it?" He gave me a fake smile. "I didn't know about you. Not at first. She told me she was separated. Said things with her husband were over, just waiting on the paperwork." I laughed. "Classic. She told me she felt stuck. That you were controlling. That you didn't support her dreams." My face twitched. He shrugged. "I guess I should have seen through it. But she has a way of making you believe things." Anyway, I ended things. "She's been blowing up my phone too." "She told you I was controlling?" "That's what she said." I looked him in the eye, steady. "I worked 3 jobs. I gave her everything. I let her dream while I suffered. If that's control, maybe the world's upside down." He nodded. "I believe you now. I just thought you should know the kind of person she really is." "She already showed me." He started to walk away, then turned back. "She's going to try to come back to you. People like her don't survive without someone to leech off. Be careful, man." I shut the door in his face. That night, I couldn't sleep. Again. Not because of her. Because of me. Because I finally had to ask myself the question I'd been dodging since the day she humiliated me in front of everyone. How the hell did I not see it? How did I miss the signs? Or worse, how did I see them and still let her convince me that love means patience, even when you're being dragged into the dirt? It wasn't just about her betrayal anymore. It was about every time I ignored my gut. Every time I said, "She's just tired," or "She's under stress," or "She'll come back to me." She never planned to. And that, more than anything, was what tore me up inside. But somewhere in that sleepless night, something inside me started to harden. Not in a bitter way, just solid. Real. A part of me waking up that had been sleeping for too long. I wasn't the fool anymore. She made sure of that. 3 weeks passed. The apartment felt bigger without her, quieter too, but not in a peaceful way. It was the kind of quiet that reminded you something used to live there. Something loud and messy and human. Now it was just me and the echo of everything she said. Every lie. I started cleaning obsessively. Not because I cared, but because I needed control over something. I boxed up the leftover pieces of her, lip balms in drawers, bobby pins on the sink, her stupid inspirational sticky notes on the fridge. Push yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. The irony made me want to laugh and scream at the same time. I found her medical textbooks under the couch. The same ones I used to quiz her from while she laid her head in my lap. I threw them in the dumpster that night. But no matter how much I tried to purge her from the apartment, I couldn't get rid of her from my head. That changed the day I got a message from her friend Rachel. She and Samantha had been tight during med school. Same classes, same internships. I hadn't spoken to Rachel in months, but the moment I saw her name pop up, my stomach dropped. "Hey Jake, I know this is random, but I think you should see something. I'm sorry it took me this long." Attached was a screenshot of a group chat. For girls. One of them Samantha. The messages were from 2 months before the graduation. "Samantha, if Jake finds out, I swear I'll just cry and say I was overwhelmed with school. He'll believe it. He always does." Another girl. "Girl, he's working 3 jobs for you." "Samantha, that's his choice. I didn't ask him to be a desperate martyr. I need someone who actually makes me feel something." "Samantha, besides, Connor knows what he's doing in bed." Jake's like, "Fine, I guess. But not like that." I stared at that message for a long time. Not just because it hurt, because it confirmed everything. The disrespect wasn't just private. She enjoyed making me look like a fool. She laughed about it with her friends. Treated me like a doormat with a paycheck. I called Rachel. She answered immediately. "I'm so sorry, Jake. I didn't know how to tell you. I wanted to stay out of it, but after what she did to you at graduation, I couldn't sit on it anymore." I was quiet for a moment, then said, "Did she ever love me?" Rachel sighed. "I think she loved the idea of you. Someone who gave everything and asked for nothing." That hit me harder than I expected. Rachel continued. "Samantha always wanted to be seen as the victim, even when she was the one breaking hearts. She's been talking about upgrading for a while now." "Upgrading," I muttered. "She was never worthy of you," Rachel said. None of us could say it then, but we all saw it. That night, I sat in the dark with a bottle of cheap whiskey and stared at a blank wall. No music, no distractions, just me and the weight of every truth I'd been avoiding. She didn't fall out of love with me. She never loved me as I was. Just loved what I could do for her. The effort, the sacrifice, the loyalty. It was currency for her. And the moment I stopped being useful, she traded me in. The next morning, I did something I never thought I'd do. I called my boss and quit one of my jobs. I didn't need to break myself anymore for someone who wasn't even here. I'd been grinding nonstop, and for what? I didn't feel relief. I felt like a man crawling out of a wreck he didn't know he was in. But the most surprising part? I didn't want revenge. Not yet. What I wanted was truth. All of it. I wanted to know how deep the hole went. What else she'd lied about. Who else she'd fooled. And I had no idea that within 48 hours, I'd find out something that made every betrayal so far feel small. Because Samantha? She wasn't done with me. Not even close. I got the call 2 days later. Blocked number. Normally I wouldn't answer, but something told me to. Jake. A woman's voice, tight, serious. This is Detective Janice Holloway. I need to ask you a few questions about your wife, Samantha. That sentence alone hit harder than every punch life had thrown at me over the past month. She's not my wife anymore, I said instinctively. What's this about? I need to confirm a few things with you in person, she replied. Preferably today. It's regarding a man named Connor Reeves. My blood froze. We met at the station an hour later. She walked me through a narrow hallway, past peeling walls and humming fluorescent lights, into a small, windowless room that looked like it had seen too many broken people sit in too many broken chairs. She slid a folder across the table. Mr. Reeves was arrested last night at a bar in Midtown. Disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and possession of a controlled substance. I didn't say anything. I wasn't surprised. In some twisted way, I was waiting for that shoe to drop. She continued. When he was brought in, he mentioned your wife. Said she was involved in something bigger. That if he went down, he wouldn't go alone. I raised an eyebrow. What the hell does that mean? That's what we're trying to figure out, Holloway said, opening the folder. Inside were printed screenshots, financial statements, and photographs. And right in the middle, Samantha's face, captured from security footage. She was walking out of a clinic, laughing, arm in arm with Connor. You recognize this place? Holloway asked. I squinted. No. What is it? Private diagnostic lab, she said. No public records. Cash only. Known for doctoring test results, usually for immigration fraud, sometimes for insurance scams. My pulse picked up. Are you saying she was involved in fraud? She listed you as a co-signer for multiple lines of credit. We believe they funneled some money through fake accounts tied to your name. That's why we need your cooperation. You might be on the hook for things you didn't even know about. I sat back in my chair, stunned. Not just betrayal, not just lies, but crimes. And I was the fool she set up to take the fall. I have no part in any of that, I said flatly. We believe you, Holloway replied. But proving it is another matter. I left the station with my hands clenched into fists. That same fire from graduation day was back in my chest, but now it was focused. Sharper. I went home, tore through the remaining boxes, folders, and files she left behind. Bank statements, emails, anything. I dug through old laptops, flash drives, even her medical school notebooks. Anything that could link her to this. Then I found it, hidden in a folder labeled MCAT Prep. A spreadsheet. Names, dates, payment records. One of the email addresses matched a name from the police folder. And the last tab? It was titled Contingency. Inside was a document where she'd written out some kind of plan, step-by-step instructions on what to say if things ever went south. How to play the victim. How to frame me. Tell them he was unstable, depressed. Talk about how he used to yell. Mention how he managed the money. Cry. Make them pity you. It wasn't a contingency. It was a blueprint. That night, I called Detective Holloway and emailed her everything. Then I sat in the dark and stared at nothing for a long time. This wasn't a failed marriage. It was a setup, a long con. She never loved me. She studied me. She used my loyalty like leverage. And the worst part? I let her. But that was over now. Because now I had something she didn't expect. Proof. And I wasn't just going to burn the bridge between us. I was going to light up the whole forest she built her fake life in. Let's see how the queen of manipulation survives when the truth starts screaming louder than her lies. The morning she showed up at my door, I was ready. I'd already sent the files to Detective Holloway, my lawyer, and even Rachel, just in case anything happened to me. I'd taken screenshots, backed up drives, secured everything. Samantha could play innocent all she wanted, but this time, I was 10 steps ahead. She knocked like nothing had changed. 3 soft taps, just like she used to do when she forgot her keys. When I opened the door, she was standing there with a coffee cup and that fake warm smile she used to melt me with. Not this time. Hey, she said, too casual. I thought maybe we could talk. I didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at her. I brought you your favorite, she added, holding the cup out like a peace offering. Vanilla latte, extra hot. I didn't take it. Her smile twitched. Samantha, what do you want? She sighed, stepped back slightly, like I was being unreasonable. I just think this whole thing it got out of hand. I mean, we loved each other once, right? Can we at least talk like adults? You framed me for financial fraud. Her face twitched again, just a flicker, but I saw it. Don't be dramatic, she said, voice tightening. You know how complicated everything got. I was under pressure. Connor was manipulating me too. I didn't want any of this. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. You wrote a backup plan in case I caught you. You practiced tears in the mirror. You mocked me to your friends like I was a dog waiting for scraps. She tried again. Jake, I messed up. I admit it. But we don't have to ruin both our lives over this. I mean, I could say I forged your name. You'd be off the hook. We could fix this together. I looked her dead in the eye. You're not here to fix anything. You're here because Connor flipped, and you're scared. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Then, for a moment, the mask dropped. No one's going to believe you. She spat, voice low and cold. You think they'll care about your little files? You're a guy who worked at 3 crap jobs, who snapped when his wife got successful. I'm a future doctor. They'll believe me. That was her real voice. No charm. No sugar. Just venom. I stepped forward. Good. Then you won't mind finding out what a man with nothing to lose is capable of. She froze. You tried to destroy me quietly, I continued. You should have finished the job. Because now I'm not just leaving you. I'm going to make sure everyone sees what you really are. She stood there, breathing heavy, pupils narrowed. Then, just like that, she snapped back into character. You're making a mistake, Jake. I shook my head. No, Samantha. You did. I closed the door in her face. An hour later, Holloway called. We've arrested 2 of the lab workers. One of them named your wife. The other one said she personally delivered payments in cash, payments tied to your account. Jake, I think you just saved yourself. I laughed bitterly. That wasn't the goal. I just wanted to stop bleeding. We'll need your full testimony. You'll have it. After the call, I sat in the silence again. Only this time, it was different. There was no waiting. No more wondering. Just clarity. She tried to write me out of the story of her success. But now the story has changed. She'll still be famous, but for the truth. And me? I'm finally free. But freedom comes with scars. You don't walk away from something like this clean. You walk away smarter, colder, and far more dangerous to anyone who ever thinks they can play you again. 2 weeks later, I sat in a courtroom. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. Samantha sat 3 rows ahead of me, dressed like innocence wrapped in a white blazer, hair pulled back, no makeup, face pale, exactly how her lawyer told her to look. Like a misunderstood, overwhelmed woman just trying to survive. But she wasn't shaking anymore. No, she sat there calm, tapping her pen against the table like it was just another lecture hall. She didn't look back at me once. Maybe she didn't have the guts. Or maybe she thought I didn't matter anymore. Her lawyer stood and delivered a carefully rehearsed statement. My client was manipulated by a man who used her for financial gain. She feared him, and in her desperation, she made mistakes. Minor ones, certainly not criminal. I wanted to laugh. Minor? She tried to bury me under 6 figures of debt. Signed my name on things I'd never even seen. Lied to the cops. Lied to the courts. Lied to everyone. But now, the lies were cracking. Detective Holloway gave her testimony like a woman with steel in her bones. Calm, clear, brutal. Rachel showed up too, bless her. Sat trembling in the witness stand, but told the truth anyway. Read the group chat aloud, her voice shaky but strong. The judge didn't say much that day, just listened. But I could see it in his eyes. He saw through Samantha. Everyone did now. Later that night, I stood in my living room, looking out the window, city lights flickering like dying stars. My phone buzzed on the table, unknown number again. I answered without thinking. I hope you're proud of yourself, Samantha's voice hissed. You happy now? Dragged me through the mud. Made a circus out of everything. You did that all by yourself. You ruined my life. No, I said. I just refused to let you ruin mine. Silence. Then she laughed. But it wasn't her usual fake laugh. This one was dark. Bitter. You think this is over? Even if I get charges, people will forget. I'll bounce back. You? You'll always be the pathetic ex who worked 3 jobs and got dumped anyway. And right then, I realized something. She wasn't scared anymore. She was cornered. And people like her, when the mask falls, they bite. I hung up. No words left to say. The day the verdict came down, I didn't go to court. I didn't need to. My lawyer called me. Deferred sentence, 5 years probation, fines, and professional restrictions. She's out of medical practice for now. Might be permanently barred. I sat in the same chair I'd once slept in after 20-hour shifts. Looked at my hands. The same hands that cooked her dinners, folded her scrubs, paid her bills. And now those same hands had just erased her from the future she thought she owned. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt nothing. Empty. Not because I missed her. Not because I wanted her back. Because I finally understood how deep the hole had been, and how close I came to being buried in it for good. Healing didn't come in loud moments. It came in small ones. A morning where I didn't think about her name first. A night where I actually laughed at something stupid on TV. A walk through the city without feeling like I was being watched or followed or judged. I started rebuilding. Not my career, that had survived. Not my credit, that'd take longer. I rebuilt me, piece by piece, day by day. It was slow and ugly. And sometimes I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with her voice in my head, whispering that I was never enough, that I'd always be the guy who got replaced. But those voices, they got quieter. And one night, standing in my kitchen, sipping coffee from a chipped mug I refused to throw away, I smiled. Because I made it. I survived her. And if anyone out there ever finds themselves loving someone who makes them feel small, disposable, invisible, walk away before they rewrite your story without you in it. And if you're already deep in it, drowning, swim. Because I promise you, the shore is real, and the air tastes better without her poison in your lungs. 3 months later, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Just my name, handwritten in neat, tight letters I knew too well. I hesitated before opening it. Something in me already knew it wasn't over. With someone like Samantha, it never truly is. Inside was a single page, folded 3 times. A letter. Jake, I don't expect you to forgive me. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm writing this. Maybe because I'm finally sitting still for the first time in years, and silence is a loud mother asterisk. You were good to me. Too good. And I used it like currency. You gave without asking, and I took without caring. I don't love you. I never did. Not the way you wanted. But I did respect you once. I know I ruined that. I probably ruined a lot of things I haven't even realized yet. Connor's gone. He flipped, sure, but he also ran. Left town, no goodbye, nothing. He used me too. Guess I deserved it. I'm not writing to say I've changed. Just to say I finally see the wreckage. That's all. I hope you're okay. Or at least, okay enough. I read it twice. Then a third time. And I didn't feel a damn thing. No rage. No satisfaction. Not even pity. Because she was right about one thing. Silence is loud. And for once, her words couldn't fill the space anymore. I burned the letter in my sink. Watched it curl, blacken, disappear. She didn't deserve to live rent-free in my drawers or my head. That weekend, I drove out of the city for the first time in years. Just me, the road, and a playlist I hadn't touched since before everything fell apart. Somewhere along a winding stretch of highway, sun dipping below the trees, I rolled down the windows and screamed. Not in pain, not in anger, just to feel how much space there finally was between me and her. And it hit me. This is what healing actually feels like. Not peace, not closure, but space. Space to rebuild. Space to breathe. And if I could go back, I wouldn't warn the old me. I wouldn't stop him from falling for her. Because sometimes the only way to know your worth is to watch someone try to bury it and fail. She tried to erase me on the day she was supposed to be proud. But I'm still here. And she? She'll always remember the man who stood in front of her lies and didn't flinch. The man she underestimated. The man she lost. The day I closed the chapter on her for good wasn't loud. No dramatic music, no final confrontation, no applause. It was me, standing in the kitchen, barefoot on cold tile, drinking coffee at sunrise. The same apartment, the same city, the same silence. But everything felt different. Because I wasn't surviving anymore. I was living. And that's what people like Samantha never understand. They chase validation, image, applause. But they don't know the quiet strength of someone who's been to the bottom, seen hell, and still chose to climb out without dragging anyone else down. I'll never forget her. I don't want to. She was the lesson I didn't know I needed. The storm that showed me my own spine. To anyone out there living in the shadow of someone's manipulation, someone's lies, someone's fake love masked as sacrifice. Walk. Run. Crawl if you have to. But get out. You'll lose pieces of yourself, yes. But what comes back will be real, unshakable, pure. And one day, when they try to reach you again, through a letter, a memory, a whisper in your head, you'll smile the way I did. Not because you missed them, but because you survived them. And that, my friend, is your final revenge.